Yep, 103.
You hear that, Devon Graham, you son of a bitch? You made me catch the VHS bug! It's Drewski McGillicuddy's Mega VHS Motherload! Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and that's right, I've caught the VHS bug. So, oddly enough, I was on my way to a doctor's appointment today, and I stopped at this little mom and pop shop because I had a little bit of time to kill because I didn't want to sit in the waiting room for 15 minutes. So I stopped at this place because I drive past it on my way to, not on my way to work, but like there's places we mow that we drive past this place on our way to, and there's always these random ass chairs sitting outside. So I figured I'd poke my head inside and see what was in there, and what I found was a couple VHS tapes that I had no choice but to pick up, even though I had no money. Just, you know, I figured, you know, I can go without lunch for a day. Anyway, so the first item up is The Good Son, starring Macaulay Culkin, and this is one of my favorite, like, I don't even know what the hell, it's not necessarily a horror movie, it's more of a thriller, but you can still find it in your horror movie section, and this movie kind of proves that Macaulay Culkin wasn't just a one-hit wonder, because his performance in this movie, 10 times better than Kevin McAllister, even though I probably like Home Alone better, but I actually got the secretary to sit down and watch this movie, and she didn't completely hate it. But that's possibly because of the spoiler that I don't want to spoil, just in case there's people out there like Lee McCoy that probably haven't seen this movie. And then I picked this up for the secretary just because I know she loves the Addams Family, so she probably loves the Munsters. I know I loved the Munsters when I was little because me and my dear old daddy would sit down and watch Munsters reruns all the time. So I picked up one of their feature-length films, and that's The Munsters Revenge. And I'll be honest with you, they kind of look like shit. But, you know, it's kind of a cool cover, even though, like, just look at the fucking makeup. Like, what in the hell? But, you know, whatever. It looks cool from the side. Leave me alone, alright? In this movie, I don't recall if I've ever seen it. Where's the year at? I don't see the year. Then again, I'm really bad at reading. 1992. There's a slight probability that I've seen this movie, but when I first grabbed it and was like, oh, I gotta buy this, I mistook it for this movie called Milo, which I remember distinctively seeing this VHS cover, and I was like a full-grown adult, pretty much, for the most part. When I saw this was like right when VHSs were being phased out. I guess I was a teenager. But anyway, this cover, I seen the cover, all right? And before even watching the movie, just the image from the cover, somehow I had a nightmare about this character, and it was a terrifying nightmare. And then I watched the movie, only to be highly disappointed, but I can't remember if it was bad or if it just wasn't as scary as the nightmare I had. But to make a long story short, I picked up Mikey, and it says, you know, Freddy and Jason were kids once too. So it makes you wonder. But yeah, this came out, you know, around the time of like Hand That Rocks the Cradle and Single White Female, crazy stuff like that. I mean, should I read the back to you? Don't worry about it. It's just something about this kid who's a little asshole, I guess. So the secretary's in for a treat because, you know, what? They hooked up the VCR, like I said. What else? Oh yeah, see, and I usually don't like to pick up movies that have like these fancy limited whatever edition things, but I had to have Overboard. One of my favorite Kurt Russell movies, one of my favorite like comedy dramas from the 80s. I used to watch this movie over and over again. I had it taped off of HBO back in the 90s. Now I have my very own physical VHS copy, even though I have it on Blu-ray. But I figured, what the hell, when in Rome? And then I got me some more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series action going on. Basically, you can't pass up this cover art. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just this shade of purple and all that stuff. And then you got Shredder. He looks badass as always. Except for his action figure. Fucking, what the fuck was going on with that shit? Anyway, we're just gonna move along. I got this, even though the secretary refuses to watch this movie. But one of these days, I'm gonna punch her in the mouth if she doesn't watch it. Because she made me sit down and watch Short Circuit. Wait a minute. That's what I am trying to get her to watch. She made me sit down and watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then can't even be bothered to watch one of the greatest 80s movies of all time, let alone Mean Girls. But it's Short Circuit. Like, who wouldn't want to watch this shit? Johnny Number 5.
Ha!
It's like...
I've seen it.
When?
When it first came out and I didn't like it. Don't want to watch
You
it.
hear this fucking bullshit she's spouting back there? Leave a comment in the comment section down below and let her know how you feel about her saying she ain't like this movie, because you know she's a goddamn lie. Anyway, I picked this up for Ghost Cat, even though I'm waiting for the Blu-ray before I review it. And that's Natural Born Killers, everybody. One of the most fucked up journeys you'll ever go on in the cinemas. Which, you know, you would think they would re-release this one of these days. This is directed by Oliver Stone, and, you know, he's got to be one of the most underrated, I mean, not necessarily underrated film directors, but underappreciated. Like, nobody talks nearly enough, like Platoon, Born on the 4th of July. All of his movies are just phenomenal, and, you know, I never hear anybody talking about Oliver Stone. Kind of makes me wonder. Anyway, another director that I absolutely love, and I haven't seen this movie literally since it first came out on VHS, and I was just talking to Devon Graham, of all people, the other day, and he was like, oh, I just got Weird Science on Blu-ray, I've never seen it, should I watch it? And I said, what the fuck did you just say to me? Because, yeah, it's like, how the fuck have you never seen Weird Science? Then I said something about The Breakfast Club, and he was like, oh, yeah, I've seen The Breakfast Club. Then I said something about 16 Candles. He's like, see, I've always wondered... Here, just... Can I play it?
But, that's the other one I was going to ask you about was, 16 Candles. Like, is that, like, gay and, like, romancy, or is it, like, actually, like, a really badass movie? Like, I know it's probably romancy, but... I don't really know much about it. Is it like a chick flick or what?
What the fuck did you just say to me? Did you hear what he just said to me? Do you not know who the fuck John Hughes is? Do you not know who you fucking witnessed? Or you done brought the ghetto in me out? No, anyway, no, fucking 16 Candles is fucking one of those teen movies from the 80s that teen movies from the 90s wish they could be. This is more upsetting than fucking Lee McCoy not seeing the people under the stairs.
Did you hear it? Did you hear what he fucking said to me? You motherfucker. Are you serious? You ain't never seen one of the greatest teen movies of all time that, makes... Anyway, don't worry about it. I got John Hughes's Curly Sue. And I haven't seen this in a really long time. All I remember is about a couple of a homeless guy meets this homeless girl, and then he basically becomes her guardian or something like that. And there's like stuff involved. I don't fucking remember. But yeah, like I said, I hate these films. Why does it have to be up here? But it's still gonna look cool from the side, right? So I'm going to have my John Hughes collection with my horror collection and this collection. Don't worry about it. Let's move on to the next movie. And that is one of the greatest sports movies ever made, Rookie of the Year. And it's still got its fancy, previously viewed $2.99 price tag from Blockbuster Video. And look, it's even got that. It's so beautiful. Because see, normally back in the day when Blockbuster still existed, I would peel this right the fuck off. But not anymore, because I never thought that Blockbuster wouldn't fucking exist. But you goddamn millennials and your goddamn technology fucking ruining everything. Now I can't watch fucking movies because I spend more time just scrolling through these stupid ass streaming sites than I do actually watching the fucking movie. And then just... It's too overwhelming to pick out a movie over here. But if I were to go to Blockbuster, I would have no choice but to walk around that son of a bitch 3 times until I have 3 movies that I feel like will be worth spending $6 to $9 on, depending upon how much rentals are at the time. But it's totally worth it, because then you go home and you have no choice but to actually sit down and watch these movies, because if you don't, you will have then wasted all that time and money. Anyway, so that's how I feel about this goddamn streaming bullshit. Anyway, I picked this up. Terrible copy. Looks like it was in a fire, but that's all right. It just adds to its character, and that's Freddy versus Jason, one of the greatest mashups. 2 franchises coming together. And I think they should have made a sequel while this was still hot, because god damn it, you know good and well this movie made enough money when it came out. And I just realized I didn't review this when I did my Friday the 13th franchise, so I better hurry up and get to that Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, right? But don't worry, it'll come. It'll come after the next franchise that I decide to review. But you never know what I'm going to do. Anyway, this is the finale for this stack, and we're at 10 minutes. Oh my god, we're taking too long. Anyway, the great late John Ritter stars in Stay Tuned. Now, this movie, I have a feeling it might be worth some money, but guess what? I don't give a fuck about no money. This ain't going nowhere. I'll be buried with this movie. Now, I've only seen this movie once, and I don't remember it being all that great, but I remember it being from the 80s, so it's good enough. So I am extremely excited to sit down and watch this, because I don't think that it's on DVD, and if it is on DVD, it's rather expensive, and I'm pretty sure it's not on Blu-ray. I'm not absolutely sure. I forgot to do my research before I made this video. Alright, so that's that stack. And then my buddy called me up. He cleaned out this house and said, "Hey man, aren't you all the time looking for VHS?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." He's like, "Well, come over here. I got about 1,000 of them." And I thought he was bullshitting me. And I get over there, and he's got about 1,000 VHS tapes just laid out in his driveway. And I was like, "You son of a bitch." And then what he wanted to do was he wanted to swindle me. He got me for $2 a piece. But that's all right, because some of these are worth way more than $2 a piece. And then some of them, they're worth, about $1 to me. So I slightly overpaid, but then I basically got a good deal on some other shit. So I picked and chose my battle, I guess you could say. And the first item that I picked up was Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Last Action Hero. And like I said, I hate this box, but at least it'll look cool from the side on the shelf. This won't be one that sits out and displays, but one of these days I'll find. Like, it still looks cool on the back. It's just, why do you have to crop my shit and ruin the box art, you bastards? And then, in honor of the late, great Rutger Hauer, I picked up Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I guess you could say Luke Perry, because he passed away. So I'll watch this in honor of them, even though I have this on Blu-ray. Maybe we'll review this soon, because not enough people talk about this all the time. Talk about that TV show that fizzled out there towards the end. Anyway, I figure this is one of the last movies that came out on VHS, or came out right around the time that they were fizzling out, and I figure, you damn right I need Dawn of the Dead, the remake, in my VHS collection. Why wouldn't I? I've always loved this cover. It's got nothing on the original cover, but just the use of orange, I think, is really nice. And then hopefully, I think I might already have this. I don't know, I can't read. It would help if I could read. And that is Silence of the Lambs. And look, I don't think I did buy the other one, because the other one had that stupid MGM bullshit up here, but this one might be an original release. So that's fun. So I picked this up, Silence of the Lambs. Now, yeah, we'll have to talk about this someday. A lot of you are going to be fucking mad at me. Oh, and here's another movie with the sticker on it, and this sticker is kind of expensive, so you gotta wonder, you know. But there's a review on my channel, believe it or not, for this movie, and I might revisit it since nobody, like, it's got like 36 views because it's called Bird on a Wire. I mean, what's not appealing about a movie called Bird on a Wire? It's got Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn. What the fuck do you people want? So why don't you type in Bird on a Wire movie review and see if you can find my movie review, because I did a really good job. But anyway, that's Bird on a Wire, y'all. If you ain't seen this movie, this is like one of the most underrated Mel Gibson movies there is. And if you want to talk about some more Mel Gibson, let's get some more Mel Gibson. Well, where's the more Mel Gibson at? Here's the more Mel Gibson. Don't be looking at my bald spot, everybody. That's Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. This is like the only Mad Max movie I did not own. Now I do, but unfortunately it's only on VHS. I need to pick this up on Blu-ray so I can go through and review all the Mad Max movies for you, because that asshole Devon Graham apparently ain't never seen a fucking Mad Max movie. Fucking madder than Lee. Anyway, I picked up some Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme because, you know, I'm a man and men like manly things. Or men like manly... Shut up. Anyway, who doesn't love this fucking movie? I'll punch you in the fucking mouth. Yeah, this is probably, definitely top of the food chain when it comes to Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Like I said, like, I reviewed Lionheart way back in the day when I first started this channel. I need to fucking review this. We need to go through and rank the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. But, oh, and there were so many other Jean-Claude Van Damme movies on VHS that he had, and I couldn't bring myself to buy all of them because I don't have the money for it. Anyway, look, I'm not trying to make this take forever. It's just it turned out that way. Hold on, let me slide on in here. If you could tell from the curtains, it's several hours later. And I realized while I was over at my buddy's house, there was something I forgot to do. So I went back over to do that. And he was like, here, while I'm getting your thing together, why don't you look at some more VHS tapes? And goddamn it if there wasn't some shit that I overlooked the first time I was over there. So I picked up An American Werewolf in Paris. I haven't seen this movie since it came out. I kind of enjoyed it. So I don't know why I never rewatched it. Maybe it's because everybody else talks about how terrible it is, even though it's got 4 stars right there on the VHS cover. So it can't be all that bad, right? Other than the fucking CGI. But anyway, it was, you know, simpler times back then. When I picked this up for The Secretary, even though it's supposedly the worst Stephen King movie since The Tommyknockers, and that's Graveyard Shift. I've never seen this, don't know nothing about it. I just heard that it's terrible. And that's a fancy looking cover. I'm used to what's the cover? It's usually like a skull with a hard hat on, right?
Yep.
So this is like probably the original cover. And these are all Video Treasures. See, Video Treasures. Anyway, don't worry about that. Sarah got all excited when she saw this. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it, and that's The Last Starfighter. So maybe this is good, and we'll sit down and we'll watch this, and we'll review it or something. I don't know. I mean, it's got a cool cover. That's pretty much the only reason I bought it, is because I thought that the cover was kind of cool. It looks very 80s. And then this is the finale of this little stack that I just picked up. And then we'll get back to the main course or whatever. I don't even know where I'm interjecting at with this. But I picked up Steven Spielberg's Duel. And just look at this fucking cover. Is that not just sweet-ass titties right there? There's just something about the simplicity of this VHS cover that just makes my dick hard. I'll be honest with you. But anyway, yeah, there's Duel. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program. Sorry, my voice cracked. Alright, I got this for Lee McCoy, but he can't have it. I just wanted to rub it in his face. I got this fancy Jaws, like, can you tell that it's like all shiny and glossy, and it's a dual VHS set. I mean, that's gonna look real good sitting somewhere. But Jaws, everybody. Yeah, I need to watch it again. I mean, I've seen it several times throughout my life. It entertained me, but I don't see why everybody thinks it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Don't get mad. But one of these days, I'll sit down and watch it again, and maybe it'll hit me, and I'm like, God damn, it's a good movie. Which, you know, I'm not saying it's not a good movie. I'm just saying it's not as impactful as, say, Dawn of the Dead or Nightmare on Elm Street, shit like that. That's Jaws, everybody. And then I have a feeling I can't see, can't read either, so that doesn't help matters. Army of Darkness, and it's the fucking fancy original cover that I love so much. So that gets me excited. I remember being at Village Video, and they had the standee for this at the video store, and it was just so badass, and I remember just standing there staring at it. If only I could find that standee, that'd make a good background piece. But yeah, Army of Darkness, and what can I say about this? You're just gonna have to wait until my review, which could be several years from now, because, you know, now I'm starting, well, at least I've seen these movies, you know what I mean? It's not like, don't worry about it. Here, I'm gonna save that one with this one, put that over there, we'll put that right there, and then we'll pull out Urban Legend, one of the best 90s slasher movie. I was lukewarm on it when I first saw it, but the funny thing is I haven't seen it in a really long time, but I remember it growing on me over the years. I just never happened to pick it up when I see it. I don't know why, but there it was on VHS, and I'm like, you know what? I'll have to watch this on Blu-ray someday. Anyway, one of the best, like, I don't even know. It's like a crime thriller vampire movie. That's Dusk Till Dawn, or From Dusk Till Dawn, whatever you want to call it. I always just call it Dusk Till Dawn, because look how small the from is. Like I'm supposed to be able to read that. Anyway, yeah. I'm pretty sure I reviewed this movie, but I got short-term memory loss, and it feels like I reviewed this movie. Okay, I did. But yeah, had to have it on VHS. Always loved this cover. It's one of my favorite 90s horror covers. All right, I'm hurrying up, everybody. I'm hurrying up with Superman 3, which is one of the most underrated Superman movies there is. I absolutely fucking love this movie. This is one of my favorite Superman movies when I was a kid. Like, I liked this better than the first one. I liked it better than the second one. I used to like the fourth one too, until I got older and realized, what the fuck is going on here? But maybe one of these days we'll sit down and we'll review all the Superman movies. Don't worry, everybody, we're getting close to the end. Alrighty. I picked up Handyman. Here's another movie I've never really been that big on. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times, and it's just never won me over, so to speak. But, you know, I'm willing to give it another chance, because that's the kind of guy I am. I like to revisit movies that I didn't necessarily like the first 3 or 4 times, and then see if my movie palette changes when my brain gets... Shut up. What? Don't listen to her either. Neither one of us know what we're talking about. I'll save that one because it's cool. This just looks absolutely fucking horrible. But I picked it up anyway. That's Crocodile 2. I've never seen Crocodile 1. And I probably won't like it, because with everybody talking about how great Crawl was, and I thought it was just boring and uneventful, even though there were people trapped in a hurricane with alligators. But anyway, that's Crocodile 2, everybody, not to be confused with Alligator 1. And then I'll just pop these bad boys up real fast. I got Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Wolfman. So wouldn't it be cool to just happen to come across the rest of these somehow? And then there you go. Got my Universal VHS collection started. And then we picked up Arnie in the Terminator. And I've always absolutely adored this movie poster. I need, or well, this VHS cover. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about, everybody. They don't make movie covers like this anymore. Everything looks kind of stupid nowadays. Now, every once in a while, you'll end up with something cool. But for the most part, you don't see shit like this. And it pisses me off. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I want to get down to the nitty-gritty. And I picked up everybody's favorite Halloween Resurrection against my better judgment. Yeah, I paid $2 for this. Well, actually, no, this was the free one. This was the free one. I told us if I buy 10, I want one free. I ended up buying 30, so I needed them all free. Or wait a minute, no. I don't know math. They were $2 a piece, so what's 30 divided by 2? Shut up. Halloween Resurrection on VHS. Just because, you know, at least the cover's kind of cool. Now we're down to the nitty-gritty. This should get Lee McCoy's nipples hard, in case they weren't hard already with all this goddamn Halloween talk going on. I picked up the original Halloween on VHS, and it's the Video Treasures release. So I don't know, is there a media release for this? Devon Graham, let me know in the comment section down below if there's a media release for this, because then I'll have to go out and get that too. But yeah, it's Halloween. What do I need to say about Halloween that you people are already gonna just nut? All right, we're down to the two final items. I was gonna show you the last VHS tape first, but I think I'll show you this random ass thing I picked up because it's hilarious, and I want to savor, you know, this last thing for one more moment. You ever been to the dollar store and seen these knockoff action figures? Well, I went to a yard sale and they had a crap ton of stuff from the dollar store from like 20 years ago. And I picked this up. That's right. Karate Turtle Warriors. It's just, look at his legs. Can you see that? Can you see how fucked up his legs are? But yeah, I had to have it for $1. I had to have this because, I mean, the back of it's just a piece of cardboard. But I have a feeling that this thing could be worth a small fortune because there's weirdos out there that like to collect knockoff toys. Not that I would ever sell this. This is a wall hanger for sure. Anyway, let's get down to the nitty gritty. I don't want to be running off the mouth. Nobody's gonna watch this. Anyway, I almost cried. I got over there, I'm looking through all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, I was kind of mad because he threw it at me. But when I saw what it was, I almost started crying, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre VHS Video Treasures release. I still need the media release, which I thought that this cover was the media release. Now I'm confused about what the media release looks like. But I love, like this right here is probably my favorite VHS cover for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This bad boy right here definitely ain't going to be displayed on its side. It's going to be face out for everyone to see all of its glory. So, yeah. My VHS collection's starting to come together, everybody. I like Hillbilly. That's actually his name. Hillbilly, if you happen to watch this, thank you so much. I love you. Anyway, what did y'all think of my VHS Megaload? Motherload. Megaload? I don't know what I called it. Just make sure you click the like button if you've liked what you've seen here, and subscribe or subscribite. What the hell does that say? This whole time I've just been using this, and I didn't even know that it was either spelled wrong or spelled in Spanish. If anybody knows what the hell's going on here, let me know that, as well as knowing what it says. Just Just go. All right. It's been 26 minutes. Don't you have better things to do with your time? I'm kidding. I love you guys. Bye.
Have you seen my automobile?